People think, dream, and turn the unimaginable things into reality. But people also make mistakes. However, some mistakes can be found to be quite expensive, costing even billions of dollars, and could be even worse with lives at risk. And construction in some of those fields where even a minimal inaccuracy can end up calamitous. Why did the Sydney Opera House take 14 years to complete? How much did it cost? Which project cost $80 million due to a minor mistake? And why was Seongsu Bridge collapsed? Here's the construction mistakes that cost millions. Let's start with the first one, the Sydney Opera House. Sydney Opera House is a symbol of Sydney, one of the most famous buildings in the 20th century. Even the famous Danish architect John Utzon won the 2003 Pritzker Architecture Prize for this work. But as you can guess, there were some things that went wrong with this project. There were so many mistakes that the project took 10 years to complete, and millions of dollars were lost. The structure was supposed to be completed in 4 years, with a budget of $7 million, but instead took 14 years and cost $14 million. Of course, there was another problem. Musicians couldn't hear the music in the opera house due to acoustical flaws as well as improper planning. Hey, what? Shouldn't that even be the main purpose when starting the project? Whatever, these errors had to be corrected, well, of course, for a certain amount of money. The Opera House and stage production halls somehow were switched and housed wrong, leading to another high expense of nearly $300 million to rectify the acoustics. $300 million. Ridiculous. Anyway, at least the Opera House was so beautiful in the finale that it made all those mistakes go away. Let's continue. The AON Center, Chicago. AON Center is one of the most ostentatious buildings in Chicago. Even with 83 floors and a height of 1,136 feet, it's the fourth tallest building in Chicago. But don't be fooled by the flamboyance of this building. Although it was initially seen as an architectural hit, it was also marred with some pretty serious issues that turned out to be costly. We're not talking about not so much money, guys. That project ended up being an $80 million mistake. The mistake was very simple. Materials are very thin, which ultimately resulted in giant slabs of the marble detaching and crashing down into the neighboring building. The entire building had to be immediately resurfaced with granite, a more suitable material. Anyway, $80 million isn't a lot of money for AON. CNA Center, Chicago. Aha! Chicago again. Beware that window papers or glasses may fly out of the air while walking in Chicago. May sound interesting, but it's true, guys. The CNA Center in Chicago suffered million-dollar losses due to an unforgettable mistake in history. The building was built without taking into account the expansion of the building due to heating, ultimately causing the windows to collapse into the floor underneath. Even one accident resulted in a window fatally striking a person. This ended a settlement worth $18 million and the need to replace every single window within the 44-story tower, and a monthly check on the safety of each panel. Too surprising, isn't it? Well, $18 million is not a lot rather than the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, ready to fly to Massachusetts? The Stata Center. Stata Center are Ray and Maria Stata Center is a research center, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA. This masterpiece was designed by the famous architect Frank Gehry. When the building was completed, it had astonishing angles and walls that seemed out of this world. Years after its opening, MIT had to sue the architect as the building grappled with issues like draining issues, failing walls, cracks in the foundation, and more. The $300 million build was seen as an unparalleled success, but still a costly mistake. Of course, the financial loss is very bad, but we do not have much consolation when there's both financial loss and loss of life. Let's look at the last one. The Seongsu Bridge. Unfortunately, on October 21st, 1994, the Seongsu Bridge in South Korea collapsed. The 45-meter area in the middle of the bridge collapsed, and 32 people lost their lives. As the bolts connecting the steel plates of the bridge broke, the bridge and the vehicles on it were submerged. The bridge was designed to take on a load of 36.3 tons per car, but vehicles of 47.3 tons would commute using the bridge as well. With an engineering defect discovered after inspection at some joints, with the bridge taking on extra load, the tragically lost lives and $2 million in repairs cost the state council $185,000. It was later discovered that several repairs and scheduled maintenance had not been done. But we don't know whether we should call it a mistake or, well, just negligence. After all, it has happened. 32 people. And yes, that's all. If you enjoyed it, you know when to hit the like button, subscribe button, and bell icon too. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Peace out.